Today I fucked up working at a gay bar. A few weeks ago I, 20 male, got my first job as a waiter at a gay bar. Not my first choice. Not even in my top 10. However, as an unemployed student on the precipice of poverty, I was in need of a job. Any job. Despite my enthusiasm to basically do anything for money, I was struggling to find work. My girlfriend, 22, came to my rescue and recommended that I apply for a job at a local gay bar. I looked like a twink who tops, according to her, which apparently put me in the right up their alley category. I hesitated for days, but eventually decided to go to the gay bar and sell my straight soul. I got the job. Part-time. The day shift. The manager referred to it as the safe shift for an inexperienced employee like me. I appreciated the safe shift because the bar was relatively relaxed during the day and I got to wear the family-friendly uniform that covered most of my skin. Less than 2 weeks later, I was working the night shift. I was informed that the night crowd provided much better tips, so I eventually requested the night shift. It was an awkward experience at first because I had to be shirtless while serving mostly male customers who made it painfully obvious that they were further undressing me with their eyes. I had no choice but to get used to the attention and play along. What happened next made me miss unemployment. When I got home the other night, my girlfriend was dying to tell me that some of her gay friends were actually my customers that evening, which I was unaware of because I don't know everyone my girlfriend knows. That was the point. The gay friends were supposed to be strangers to me. My girlfriend convinced them to spend time in the bar and spy on me while I was working. Based on their feedback, I was extremely comfortable flirting with them, to the point of swapping my regular work pants with butt-less work pants. I explained to my girlfriend that I was doing my job and that her gay friends, who forgot to stay sober during their spy mission, were nagging me all night to show more skin before I realized I would waste less time and energy if I just gave them what they wanted. My girlfriend said she never expected me to really apply for work at a gay bar, let alone flirt and strip for fucking tips. I said I never expected her to send random people to spy on me instead of, oh I dunno, maybe communicating like a normal couple or fucking winking or some shit when she recommends a job as a joke. I tapped out as soon as she asked if I was gay or bi. The question alone didn't bother me, it's the fact that I could sense that no answer was gonna be good enough. My girlfriend and I are not speaking at the moment. Dri accepted a job at a gay bar after my girlfriend recommended it. Now our relationship is in limbo because I did my job. Ask your girlfriend how she would feel working at Hooters and you sending in your friends to sexually harass her. Okay, girlfriend sucks, but how were the tips? The reality is quite the opposite. It takes a very secure straight man to comfortably flirt with gay men. But also your GF's double standards are fucking toxic. No girlfriend who respects her boyfriend would do that. She deliberately sent her friends to workplace to spy on you. Instead of telling her friends off for harassing you during work, she turns on you. She messed up, and she tries to put the blame on you because she's an insecure girl. You didn't foo. Your girlfriend is an asshole. Making money from people that are attracted to you doesn't make you gay or bi. Women all over the world take in the tips by wearing low-cut shirts, tight skirts, and taking money from people they would never consider sleeping with. You're literally doing the same thing to make ends meet, and it was her suggestion. Sending her friends in to sexually harass you sucks. Dump her and keep the job. Today I fucked up as I presented my boyfriend with his cheating partner on a silver platter. I, F30, have a boyfriend of 3 years. We will call him Sam, M33. And in the beginning he lost his friends group because of a fight, so he was pretty alone, but that wasn't really a problem as we were happy to do everything together. Anyway, he was in the military years ago and sometimes talked about his time there and his buddy, which we will call Leo, M30. I sometimes made jokes about their gayness for each other as they seemed to be really close. A few months back I wanted to surprise him and find Leo's contact, as I thought it would be nice if they could talk again as they lost contact over the last 10 years. I found him on Facebook and gave him Sam's email, and he was excited and thanked me and told me he would write him. Sam was super happy to hear from him and was excited to meet up with him. He asked me if I wanted to come with him, but I told him I could meet his buddy another time. They should use the time to talk and get to know each other again after all those years. Everything seemed cool and they sometimes went for beers or watched hockey games and they got really close again. I was so happy because he seemed to be less depressed and actually went out again. I actually met Leo once when we all had breakfast together and he was a really nice guy. Months ago I noticed that they met up more often, and as happy as I was also a bit bummed because he had less time for me, but it felt selfish to tell him that, so I was happy for him. Then in retrospect I noticed that we had less sex. Sometimes before we had sex like 3 times a day, and sometimes we didn't do anything sexual for almost 2 weeks. With 2 full-time jobs and my health problems, it was always a weird schedule, but I noticed it got less and less. Usually he would initiate it more often than I did, but then I had the feeling it was always me who asked or tried to feel him up. Again, I didn't talk to him like I probably should have and thought, okay, he is working more hours, he is probably tired, and also depression is always a bitch to deal with. Fast forward to yesterday when I wanted to take a picture of our cat who was sleeping in a super weird and funny way. I couldn't find my phone, so I used his. We were always super open about our phones and have the same passcode. And I saw a text pop up with kiss emotes and curiosity got the best of me. I opened it and it was Leo, who told Sam that he missed him and was excited about the weekend where they would meet again, and told him he had a naughty surprise. I was shook and scrolled further up, and my fear got confirmed, as they apparently have been sleeping with each other behind my back for at least a month, if not more. He came back downstairs, so I put his phone back where it was and didn't say anything. I was so shocked. I went to bed early and said I had a migraine, and he knows I then need darkness and no noise, so he went to the living room to watch a movie with headphones. I cried and cried and cried and felt so much anger. I brought this person back into his life. I basically presented him on a silver platter. But on the other hand, if it weren't Leo, who knows if Sam was sleeping with someone else? Did he do it before? Was our entire relationship a lie? I never got the impression that he wasn't happy with us. Our sex was amazing. I wanted to marry this man and have his babies. I feel so sick to my stomach. I haven't talked much with him today, but I can still pass it up as my migraine. How do I even start a conversation about this? How can I compete with a man? Someone he has known for so long. Did they already sleep with each other when they were in the army? I am so confused and hurt and angry, and I just can't comprehend all this. I just need to get this out. Tomorrow I will think about what I will do. Also, I am sorry English isn't my first language, and I am sorry if this is all over the place and has mistakes. I am still bawling my eyes out. Too long did not read. I found an old friend of my boyfriend on Facebook and urged them to meet again, as my boyfriend had no friends after a fight with his last friend's circle, and he cheated on me with his army buddy. My first thought would be, don't stay with a cheater. That's obviously your decision to make based on your life arrangements. One thing you need for sure is to get tested. Being cheated on always brings the risk of STDs. There's no competition. You can't compete being the person you got cheated on with a man or woman. It's not something you didn't do or something that was lacking on your relationship. It's the commitment your partner doesn't have, and it's the lack of care he has for you. Someone who loves you won't hurt you. None of these is your fault. Get tested immediately. An ex-boyfriend of mine was cheating the whole time. With strangers, men and women, from Craigslist, while not using protection. It made me sick and I felt so violated. You need to leave this twat immediately. You deserve better than someone who would betray you. Take time to grieve the relationship and the future you lost. This was hardest for me. We had a house that we would drive by and say one day we would move in together. We had our future kids' names picked out. It literally turned my whole world upside down to find out. But it was for the best that I found out before I actually was married or had the loser's kids. Be grateful you found out before that, too. I'm here if you need to talk. That sucks, but it's not your fault, so don't blame yourself. Cheater's gonna cheat and he's fully responsible for his own actions. Get tested for STIs. There's no excuse for his actions. I am married and my wife has health issues as well. Lots of them. We haven't done anything in 4 years. Yes, it's stressful as hell for me. I am a stay-at-home dad and haven't seen any of my friends in 4 years. I haven't cheated, he has no excuse. Dump his ass, throw his crap on the lawn, and spray paint cheating asshole across the front door. I hope you find better. Today I fucked up by scaring my friend's pet snake. My friend, 20 female, is into reptiles and has several snakes in her reptile room. I came in to visit her from out of town. I'm not put off by snakes or anything, so I thought it'd be cool to check the room out. She was taking different snakes out and showing them to me, and asked me if I'd like to hold this big one, so I said, sure. I guess I jostled it around a bit too much while checking it out though, and she said, oh, be gentler with it. And then before I knew it, my left hand was suddenly covered in this oily feeling stuff which was dripping onto the floor. She immediately took the snake from me and put it back, grimacing, wincing and saying, oh no, it must. Hasn't done that in a year. I was confused at first, and then the smell hit me. I was totally unprepared for something that hideous, by far the worst thing I've ever smelled. Like dog waste, rotten fish and cheese all at once, but really oily, and it felt like I could taste it. I ran out of the room to the bathroom to go be sick. Meanwhile she cleaned it up the best she could, and thankfully wasn't mad at me but said, "Well, I guess you learned a lesson. There's a reason people don't want to scare them, and are more afraid of the stinky end than the bitey end." We went out of the house and had a mostly good day, but I noticed while eating that my hand still stunk like hell when I brought it near my face, and she said it would likely continue to stink for a day or two. The worst was when we got back home, though. I could smell it when we walked in the door. And my guest bedroom was adjacent to the reptile room and the whole room stunk. She had opened windows, etc., but said it can take quite some time for the musk to air out, and that I'd sadly have to just deal with it. Was pretty nauseous all night and didn't get much sleep. Too long, did not read. Scared a friend's snake, it must, all over me, felt quite sick. Till about snake musk. Apparently even with soap it's hard to get rid of it. Snake musk is a foul-smelling substance that a snake releases through its cloaca. Oof. As a herper we certainly learned to handle most non-venomous snakes closer to the head, counterintuitively. A bite is nothing, but musk can ruin your whole day. How rough were you handling the damn thing? Geez, most pet snakes are used to being handled. You must have been pretty rough if you scared it that bad. For Redditors who don't know what's a snake musk smell. The smell is often described as being similar to rotten eggs or rotten produce. Sounds like my friend's dog's farts when he hasn't gotten expressed. Edit. Wait, do snakes need expressing? TIFU. Telling my strict mother I want to start birth control. For reference, I'm F18, my boyfriend, M, is also 18. We've been together for 2 years now. I decided I wanted to start having sex a while ago. I have always been safe, wearing protection, taking Plan B if something happened, being extra informed about my menstrual cycle, etc. Some weeks ago I decided I wanted to start birth control. I reunited courage and talked to my mother about it on Saturday. At first she was very supportive and we even did research together. I was so happy because I thought my mother was finally being open and trustworthy. She has always been protective and kind of conservative. On Sunday she randomly comes into my room and tells me she's disappointed in me. I asked why and she told me she expected more of me, and she kinda made it clear that she thought less of me for having sex with my BF. Today I went to the doctor's appointment about birth control recommendations. She insisted to come along and was visibly annoyed the whole time. Once the appointment was over, I told her I was going to hang out with my boyfriend later. She didn't say anything and I went over to his house to order some food and just watch TikToks. She called the whole time asking what was I doing, what time was I coming home, etc. I'm being serious, she was calling every 20 minutes. I just went home and now she told me that once she comes home from work she needs to talk with me and that she will make new rules and expects me to follow them. Honestly, this last days left me exhausted and wondering if I should just kept silent and do research by myself. I feel overwhelmed and judged by her all the time. This is hell. Doctor, I told my mother I wanted her advice on birth control. She's now disappointed in me and I'm afraid this changed the way she thinks of me forever. You are 18 unless the laws differ locally. You should be free to get birth control without your mother's consent. You haven't changed the way she thinks of you. You are a new adult and she's thought of you as her baby for 18 years. My daughter is younger than you, but I would be proud of her if she did the research. You put in a lot of effort and tried to keep her involved. Let her know that her reactions mean you may share less about your life in the future. My wife's parents are judgmental so they don't get lots of updates. It sounds like you're trying to keep your mom involved in your life even as you turn into an adult. That's the right thing to do, but it's also a really hard transition for both the mom and the child. If your mom's been good to you for the last 18 years, though, this past week isn't going to change everything. Adults have sex. Your mom knows that. And on some level, she has to feel good knowing that you're in a stable, monogamous relationship. It sounds like the only thing you need to do is keep doing what you're doing, and your mom will eventually realize that she still trusts you. You're 18. No longer mention your reproductive choices to her. You are 18. Before the law, she has no control over your healthcare choices. Tell her that you think she is too young to be a grandmother, and you want to make sure it doesn't happen, while still having fun.